Have you ever wondered, when students log into your online classroom, do they hear your voice and sense your presence the same way they would in an in-person class? Is that even achievable? Hi, my name is Mandy, and I'm part of the instructional design team here at Ferris eLearning, and that's a question that we get more than you would expect. I think a lot of faculty are really curious about what they can do to make their class, their online class, the best experience for students possible. Today, we're going to take a look at 3 different online perspectives, and I really like to think of these as stages of development. We're going to explore what it sounds like for your voice to be present in the classroom in all 3 of these stages, and what things you can do so students can really get to know you in the classroom. So let's take a look at that first stage. I like to call this resource collection. What we tend to see is a collection of links to different resources that faculty are providing for students. It could be websites, articles, or videos. Faculty will compile all of these links into a module for students to engage with. In this version, students click the link and then they can see the page. There's not a lot of faculty voice in this section. We'll occasionally see a video, but when students engage with these pages, there aren't any instructions guiding them in their thinking or how they should process the material. I think when we get to the second stage, that's when we start to hear faculty voice come alive again. I like to think of these as resource pages. So instead of the links by themselves, these pages will typically have the information from the link embedded into the page, as well as some information about how students should engage with this. So it might say something like, read this content before we meet in class. Or maybe it will say something like, you're going to use this article to answer the questions from the discussion board. There's always a little bit of content that will help students prompt their thinking as they're engaging in the resource pages. I also feel that this is when we start to see more faculty videos, so students actually hearing your voice or listening to you lecture on the specific topic designed specifically for this online class that you're teaching. Now let's take a look at the third stage, and I like to think of these as integrated learning pages. These are curated resources that have a really strong faculty voice that guides students through the learning experience. So on the page, you can see this is about online learning, and we start out with an introduction. So students are introduced to the topic before they even get into the content. Next, you can see the learning goal. Students know what they're expected to know at the end of this module. After that, you can see that there is a video, but instead of just having a video, there is information on how they should reflect on this video and also how they should apply the information. So there's a lot of content and faculty voice introducing this video. Next, we can see that this is broken into 3 different chunks. So there's a framework for quality, evidence-based practice, and research insights. Within each of these sections, there is an introduction and some guiding questions. So as students work through this content, they know exactly what they should be getting out of the material. It turns this from a very passive activity where they're just taking in resources to an active activity where they're looking for the resources that they need to be successful, trying to identify information based on the guiding questions. In this form, we tend to see a lot more faculty videos, typically broken down by subject and curated specifically for this course. Faculty voice in this is very strong, and I think it is a similar experience for students to what they would get if they were in your in-person classroom. I hope this has helped you consider how you're using your voice in your online classroom and what steps you might want to take next. Linked below, you'll find several resources that can support your development, along with ideas that you can integrate. And at eLearning, we're always happy to help. If you'd like support integrating any of these ideas into your online classroom, just reach out to connect.